Hello everyone, and good afternoon, good evening, good day, and good night, depending on what time of day it is for you when you watch this. Last night I tried to do all the Hearts and Minds missions real quick because it was a really short mission and I didn't think it deserved to have me go through each character over and over again. But my mic was muted, so I'm going to just do it with him so you guys can see the general crux of it. It doesn't really change all that much between the two. Basically, the biggest change is the way the dialogue is read for the mission acceptance and mission ending. Okay, we'll go to available. Actually, you know what? I've got a better solution. See if maybe the wiki has the Starfleet version of the intro. Okay. For Franklin Drake, I lost contact with an old colleague, Dr. Sybok, a Vulcan priest. He worked with the Vulcan Science Academy studying psionic phenomena. A few years ago, he went into seclusion to a remote research station in the Donatu system. He hasn't been heard from in some time. I'd like someone to go check up on it. Don't worry, he's a typical Vulcan by himself. You shouldn't have any problems. That's the Starfleet version of it. I can't read the end dialogue for it. But basically he talks about cleaning up the mess. So that's that. Back to the game. Alright. In progress. I didn't grab it yet. No, 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 no. Did I grab it already? No.
Heed the call of the warrior. Claim the art.
No, that's not what I want. It's already ended for now. But it looks like it's... Oh, we have a Friday the 13th this month, so I should be able to do it then. Real quick, I'll do a quick shot of it. That Friday the 13th, so... Okay. Regular missions then. In progress. We'll do Lost and Found and begin the first look, from my channel at least, of the new Cardassian story arc. They did not appear to add any new Cardassian factions, sadly. My roster needs to be cleared out. A couple people in the brig. Let's see. Admiralty. Plan. Don't have quite enough ships to pull that off. Okay, let's see if I can stretch the screen just a bit so I can get things to work. And rearrange HUD. Just pop that over there. Pop that over there. Basically, plop, 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 and exit. There. Now I at least can. Ah, there goes the microphone. Now I can at least see everything. Alright, Lost and Found. Go to Deep Space Nine. They did, however, add some new things to with this one, which are the resonating Tetrion weapons have been upgraded to be Mark 7. And not Mark 7, Mark 12, and they added a heavy cannon and a turret option. We'll do some missions here.
Shields have failed.
This is one of the random encounter style missions you can get. Because it's basically just random deep space encounters. These used to be pretty much the only thing you could really use to grind on before they added mission replay as a feature. Because you could always do these. Or patrols. I'll summon my Nimbus Assault Squadron. It's going to be a slightly shorter stream because I didn't start until a little bit later. So I'm going to probably run till about 6:15, 6:30, somewhere around there. I've started getting more into the multiplayer. In fact, I'm going to try, if I have enough time, after I fit in all of the story missions, I'm going to try to do the 2 new instances that came with New Dawn. The new main mission for New Dawn, which was Sunrise, is actually a direct reference to the original series, Next Generation episode called Destiny, which was about a time traveler building a quantum phase shifter device and hiding it in the past on Rise Up. you basically meet that same character again.
Target shield.
And it looks like the main crux of the threat is that the Tholians have now acquired this piece of technology. So while there is going to be more exploration involved, and like most of the mission is, the main story of the mission is non-combat. It's basically trying to keep a star from dying. But Tholians have to come in there to make shit get worse. So we're going to see how it turns out. Hopefully it's good. Because I really like the Iconian War. Hopefully the New Dawn story arc will work as well. Basically, this here is an indicator of how many more ships you have to take out. Drop an anti-proton turret.
Target shields have failed.
I like having these two powers here because they increase all of my power ratings, so I can have 100 and everything for a little while, which is pretty cool. Because when these power ratings are higher, your shields are stronger, your weapons are stronger, you can do more damage from science abilities. And your speed's a little bit better too. Nice. Yep, that was a fun little thing. I think those missions are like on a 30-minute or 15-minute cooldown. And they kind of just randomly activate. This is one of the special things you got as a special duty officer and a special weapon type. Plasma energy weapon damage. I can't use that myself, but I might be able to sell it for a decent amount. So I can use to upgrade deflectors, eh? Do I have any deflectors worth upgrading? Not at the moment, but I'll keep it there just in case. And I don't have enough dilithium to do the rest. But yeah, I'm just trying to upgrade that so it's a higher tier and everything. Hey, I actually went up to purple rank. Nice. Because you can buy these little things that are little upgrades for shields, assets. I'm out of dilithium. Oh, I have 9 dilithium. What am I missing ship-wise from here? 1, 2, 3... I'm missing tier 4. That's 20,000 dilithium. I should be able to build that up fairly quickly. Because yeah, that's the only way to upgrade the paratrinic shield array for Klingons to get the level 11 version, the only way to do it is to use the upgrade system. Well, I guess I could have upgraded this shield that I'm using right now, the Riemann one. But I don't want to really worry about upgrading that too much, so I have more of the Riemann space set to work with. I'm almost to tier 2. Woo! Maintenance, and this mission's got another 5 hours on it. It seems to me, at least, that the Admiralty missions take longer than regular duty officer missions. I apologize for the snoring. We'll do that one. Yeah, what the hell. Maintenance. As for last week and the not streaming stuff came up, and then because of my roommate's Halloween stream, we weren't able to get the rest of Zombies Ate My Neighbors done. It was just a mess. My attempt to repeal the sound being cut off of my video for Symphony of the Night in the video playback on Twitch did not pan out, so now I am having to I'm gonna have to redo it for YouTube. Still working out how I'm gonna do that. But I'll still be playing normal Castlevania streams on Thursdays Wednesdays from here on out. So the rebuild of the Cardassian Ark, James O'Brien is no longer the main villain of it. The New Way mission, the True Way missions have been reduced, and all factions get to go to the Mirror Universe. Twice. Okay, we'll go up to operations. Did I want? Yeah, these are the Assault on Terek Nor and Counterpoint are the new missions. Oh. Not so much missions as they are events. General, you are here just in time. This station is under Federation control, but in the interest of interstellar diplomacy, they have permitted a small numbers of Klingon Imperial vessels to berth here and conduct patrols and trade with the Gamma Quadrant. True-way separatists, Cardassian terrorists, and insurgents, essentially, have recently been causing significant problems in the sector. Well, I'm about to go into the mission. I am not confident in the Federation's ability to handle these problems, and I trust that the Comoran will have no trouble dealing with them. Okay, this is the space mission for it.
DS-9 to all Alliance ships. We are under attack by Mirror Universe forces. We request immediate assistance. Our defenses are nearly down. We need help to clear these ships.
Ooh, we got one of the Iconian ships in here. Because that's the new lockbox ships, is the Iconian ones. Deep Space Nine is under attack. And we go in. So having the screen kind of squished must make everything look so much more clusterfucky. Hold back the camera as far as I can. Thank you, we've been taken by complete surprise. They knocked out our long-range sensors. Basically, they're telling us how bad they got hit. The big surprise is what you get toward the middle of this mission. And now the Terran Empire can completely penetrate into the main universe here. Venting warp plasma, so if he flies at me, he gets face full of warp plasma.
Warning, ship is under attack. Shields failing. Rear shields failing. Right shields failing. Left shields failing.
Annoying ass freaking science ships. Multi-mission surveillance explorer. We don't know what the actual new Terran Empire is like, just that the Terran Rebellion from Deep Space Nine exploded out across all of space in their world.
Four shields failing. Rear shields failing. Right shields failing. Target shields have failed.
I really need to get a rear torpedo launcher.
Hull integrity below 50%. Hull integrity below below 75%.
So yeah, I'm thinking I might grab the,
They're breaking off. We have them on the... Wait! We're getting massive energy readings. Something huge is crossing into our universe.
and here's the big moment that everything goes, what? Yes, the Terran Empire
To the Terran Empire!
literally crossed their version of Deep Space Nine, Terok Nor, into the main universe. That's ridiculous. And kind of awesome.
Lower your defenses. And surrender!
And that is Lita's original actor from Deep Space Nine, reprising her role as Fleet Admiral Lita of the Terran Empire. I'm not sure which one of the two instance missions takes place first. I think it's this one, but I could be wrong.
Surrender now!
And the Terran Empire will listen.
So yeah, this is one of the largest things I've ever fought in this game, is Terok Nor.
You are fools to oppose us.
Right shield failing. Left shield failing.
Basically, you want to go over, damage Terok Nor for a bit, come back over, defend Deep Space Nine.
5%.
We've conquered everyone else in our reality. Yours will fall.
Target shield has failed.
The Emperor will crush you.
We don't know who the Emperor is.
Target shield has failed.
But we do know that the Terran Empire is making a push.
Shield failing. Target shield has failed.
Only it had a higher turn rate, right? But that's why I want to get some torpedoes for the back.
Warning, ship is under attack.
Come on.
Warning, ship is under attack. Target's shields have failed.
We're taking too much damage. Deploy defensive countermeasures. Make repairs.
complete! Now, you face the wrath of the Terran Empire!
Beam up assault team. I don't know what beaming up the assault teams does. Maybe it gets the boarding parties off your ship or something. Okay, that was a cool looking ability.
We're taking too much damage. Deploy defensive countermeasures. Make repair. Repairs complete. Now, you face the wrath of the Terran Empire.
Target shield has failed. Left shield failing.
Yeah, this is the thing that Terran Empire now has all kinds of time ships. So that's what's made them so much more dangerous.
Rear shield failing.
I'll launch some Scorpion fighters.
We're taking too much damage. Deploy defensive countermeasures.
Hull integrity below 75%.
Make repairs. Repairs complete. Now, you face the wrath of the Terran Empire.
Four shields failing. Rear shield failing. Right shield failing.
I got hit by a repulsor tractor.
Four shields failing. Rear shields failing.
We're reading an energy surge coming from Terok Nor. Expect reinforcements at any moment.
Our reinforcements will put you in your place.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
What I did was a rather dangerous move right there. But an effective one. Basically just went right through the center of their line using my eject warp plasma to do consistent damage on all of their ships. It's one of the best engineering abilities, I think, in terms of crowd control. They got these new ships called Temporal Dreadnoughts, which I think are based on the Krenum time ship.
You haven't seen the last of me.
And that's how you play the game.
Nor has been sent back to the mirror universe. We wouldn't have been. Terok Nor has been sent back to the mirror universe. We wouldn't have been able to repel them without your help. Thank you. Join us for a celebration in Quarks.
And that was the end of one of the new instances. Pretty cool, I think. Mainly because of the fact that you literally have Terok Nor show up. Terok Nor is what Deep Space Nine used to be known as in the main universe. And with that mission comes the Temporal Task Force stuff. which is our new reputation. And as you complete the levels of it, I think you get more information about how exactly the Terran version of the Iconian War went. And inside, you get these new kind of weapons called Withering Disruptor weapons. See if it's better than my current pistol on any of my... Who's my main ties that I think with me? Kala. Is it better? Oh yeah. Is this better than my current weapon? Yep.
How can I help you?
Let's see. Need to talk to Sir. I'll have no trouble sorting these matters out. And then go over here.
How can I help you?
I was told to report to you.
Welcome to Deep Space Nine, and thank you for coming so quickly. During the occupation of Asia, many sacred artifacts were stolen and studied. After the Bajoran-Cardassian Treaty was signed in 2371, these artifacts were supposed to be returned. However, the Obsidian Order, the Cardassian military intelligence branch, opposed the treaty and apparently hid at least some of these artifacts in their warehouses. We know this because we have been contacted by the Cardassian government. There is a faction among the Cardassians called the True Way that rejects the treaty with the Federation. This organization infiltrated the defunct Obsidian Order facility and stole an orb of the prophets. These orbs are precious to our people. They have been given to us by the prophets. They possess mysterious and unusual powers. Many of them grant visions to supplicants. We believe the True Way are operating out of a base in the Badlands. We would like you to travel to the Badlands and attempt to recover the orb on behalf of the Bajoran people.
Okay. I will track down those responsible for stealing the orbs of the prophet.
How can I help you? The True Way has stolen an orb that the Obsidian Order failed to return after the war. Although we don't know for certain where they have taken it, we have been getting dozens of reports of raiders hitting civilian ships near the Badlands. Starfleet intelligence believes that the raids are related to True Way activity in that region. We know that area is a haven for smugglers and criminals of all types. It stands to reason that the True Way are using it to avoid capture as well. They might even be using some of the Maquis bases that were abandoned before the Cardassian War. We believe the Badlands are therefore the most likely place for the True Way to be hiding the stolen orb. The Badlands are dangerous and filled with hostile ships. This should be a worthy challenge for the ship. Show the True Way why they should not be so quick to draw the ire of the Empire.
Don't you love it when they stroke your ego? But yeah, that's basically the True Way believe that the only way for the Cardassian people to survive is to go back to the pseudo-fascist government that they had back during the Cardassian Union. And its height as a military power. bought the great new pair of jeans, but they're still a little tight around the button, so can only wear them for so long before it starts really digging in. Make primary. But yeah, these are two of the new weapons they added with this patch is resonating Tetrion turret and resonating Tetrion dual cannons. They seem to only be Mark 12 for some of my characters. No big. Maybe if I hit level 55, they'll level up. Begin Spoils of War. We've arrived in the Badlands, sir. Our intelligence indicates that the area is heavy true-way activity. However, the plasma storms and gravitational anomalies interfere with our sensors. We will need to search the Badlands for signs of true-way occupation. I am receiving a distress call.
To any ships in the vicinity, I am under attack by a group of Cardassian ships identifying themselves as the True Way. Please, render assistance immediately.
Set course for the freighter. So yeah, the resonating dual cannon and resonating turret are new. They were added with this expansion, which is cool. Because, you know me, I always want to get more unique weapons. But it now means you basically have to do the Spoils of War mission 4 times. And you have to do the new Link mission 4 times to get 2 of each. I like getting the dual beam banks because they work as sort of a pseudo turret on cruisers, since a lot of cruisers can't pack a turret. Most cruisers can't use dual heavy turrets.
I knew I never should have cut through the Badlands, but it takes weeks off my journey.
What happened?
Well, I was just hauling my cargo through the Badlands, and I passed some strange anomaly. I took a scan of it on my way by, and then they ordered me to surrender in the name of Gul Kardec and the True Way. My freighter is obviously no match for them. I tried to get away, but they disabled my engines. They were just about to board me, I believe, when you arrived. If you're looking for the True Way, I would head for that anomaly.
Thank you. I recommend that you repair your engines and exit the area. So yeah, that's what I tend to do with dual beam banks. Is I like to equip them to cruisers a lot because they're not quite as good as dual heavy cannons, but they tend to be better than regular cannons, which most cruisers can carry. So it's sort of a mix. It's like basically a step down.
Into our trap, and now you will never locate our base.
It's not much of a trap when I know it was coming, now does it? I wish they added a Cardassian faction. That would have been cool. The biggest problem with dual beam banks, of course, is that they only have a 90-degree arc. So you pretty much have to, the enemies pretty much have to be right in front of you for them to work. But it's still a more forgiving arc than the 45-degree arc that cannons have. Well, cannons, dual cannons, and dual heavy cannons. Turrets, on the other hand, have a 360-degree arc. This anomaly appears to be some kind of tear in the fabric of the space-time continuum. It appears to be dormant, but I believe it could be widened to become a portal. I'm detecting traces of orb energy in the area. I might be able to follow it.
Sarah's here.
We located a trail of orb energy. We are about to follow it. We could use some backup.
Acknowledged. I will be along in the Defiant shortly.
Scan for orb energy. Trail appears to lead to that moon. Well, yeah. Arrays have a 250-degree arc. Banks, I think, have a 90-degree arc. I could have sworn one had a 180-degree arc, but I could be wrong. Damn it. Didn't get turned fast enough to fire the torpedo launcher. I really honestly think torpedoes should have a greater arc than they do, weapon-wise. It's often been a kind of a pet peeve of mine that torpedoes don't have some of the better arcs that they should. Because, for example, the Voyager of the series Voyager had a side-mounted torpedo launcher, so it could cover more on each side, so it could cover better angles of attack, as well as having rear and fore torpedo launchers. I think it had 2 side torpedo launchers, 2 in the back, 2 in the front, because ships in Star Trek actually pack a lot more weapons in the shows than the game kind of makes a hint for. You gotta remember, the Scimitar class Dreadnought in this only can mount 8 weapons. The Scimitar in the movie mounted something like 47 disruptor cannons, 20 torpedo launchers, and 15 beam arrays. 15 arrays, some crazy number, as well as sporting triple layer shielding and a whole bunch of everything, because the Scimitar was basically God's ship. We have transported inside the two-way base. I am detecting orb energy coming from somewhere nearby. I'm also detecting a number of Cardassian life signs. Looks like we'll have to fight our way through to the orb. But I guess I kind of understand the wanting to do it, because acquiring 100-something weapons on some cases makes no sense when you can basically just give a smaller amount of weapons, but give them certain arcs that they can fire within. Like, so I can understand why they did what they did, even if it is a pet peeve of mine that they think they narrowed the arcs on some of the weapon types a bit too much. Because the beam banks, or phaser banks as they were normally called in the original series, actually were 2 like orbs that were set on the outside of the ship that could fire in a variety of different directions before they started taking on the array style that we saw in Next Gen. Well, in later Star Trek, the original series movies in Next Generation. The beam banks, if you actually watch the original series, you'll notice that they had like 6, like 2 on the top and bottom and 3 different spots altogether. We've gotten more female NPC enemies now for the Cardassians, which makes sense since females are about 1/3 of the Cardassian military. But they also represent most of the people who are in engineering and the sciences. Because in their people, it's just their brains are better wired for that kind of stuff. This withering disruptor array almost looks like it's anti-proton based, even though it says it's doing disruptor damage. But yeah. So all in all, I like New Dawn. It's just, I wish they had like not quite hacked up the Cardassian story arc as much as they did. Because now even the unique mission of the Tribble with Klingons is no longer available because of the way this is now set up. Though I think Lita so far is proving to be at least a more entertaining villain than James O'Brien, if only because of the fact that James O'Brien came off as way too condescending, whereas Lita sounds a lot more like the classic Trek's version of the Mirror Universe characters, where they were just overly aggressively ham-fisted in their dialogue. So, it's got ups and downs to the new one.
Dear Kardec, you can imagine my surprise to receive a message from you. I must commend you on the clever way you opened a pathway to our universe. We shall make good use of it, and you have our gratitude. If we can ever return the favor, let me know. Regarding that other matter you speak of, while we certainly share your detest for the Federation and are willing to assist you in opposing them in theory, there are certain territorial issues we will have to iron out before we feel comfortable committing military forces. Perhaps we can arrange a meeting in the usual place.
We have retrieved the Orb of Possibilities, sir. Are you ready to beam up? Beam up. We're receiving a hail from Commander Suresh.
We are approaching the Badlands. What is your status?
We have secured the orb. Gul Kardec has escaped. We are in an attempt to track him down.
I will be along in the Defiant momentarily. And may the prophets smile upon you.
And you, Commander.
Looks like I arrived just in time.
She's got the Defiant, which is another one of those ships that was just made ridiculously powerful in the TV series. But it was also designed to fight the Borg. So it had to be kind of over the top. I'm detecting plasma wake leading away from here. I think it belongs to Gul Kardec's ship. I believe I can modify our deflector dish to emit ionizing radiation which would interact with the plasma wake, illuminating it. The illumination effect won't last very long though. Make the modifications and prepare to emit radiation at my command. Oh wait, it leads exactly to the portal, like it makes sense? Come on, really? I don't know why this ship has such a terrible turn rate. I mean, it's not that big as far as cruisers come. But then again, cruisers are meant to be tanks, so they had to make them slow. Because tank equals slow. I think that's a Keldon rather than a Galore, even though it looks kind of similar. The Keldon was just like more or less just a huge version of the Keldon. The Keldon was a huge version of the Galore, all things considered. Scans indicate that this anomaly is open to the portal to the so-called Mirror Universe, a parallel dimension adjacent to ours. Hold on, sensor detects ships emerging from the portal.
Those look like Mirror Universe ships.
I hate freaking tractor beams, I really do. Because the enemies just love to abuse the balls out of tractor beams.
Congratulations on retrieving the orb. You must return it to the temple on Bajor. I will notify the Venix that you are on your way.
Acknowledged. We're ready to leave the system. Let's see.
Congratulations on your recovery of the orb from Gul Kardec. We request that you return the orb to the temple in Hathon on Bajor. I'm afraid that we have not seen the last of Gul Kardec. But for now, the people of Bajor will be elated at the return of an orb we thought lost forever. Good work. How can I help you? You have recovered the Orb of Possibilities from Gul Kardec. No doubt, you are being pursued by True Way forces. You must return the orb to the temple in Hathor. I have notified Vedic Krin. She is waiting for you in the temple. How can I help you?
Okay. Da-da. Duty officers. Personal. Okay. I grabbed the shield array because I want to wait and see if at level 55, which I should be able to get relatively quickly, I can get the level 12 variations of the resonating Tetrion weapons. Begin Jabberwocky. We've arrived at the Bajor system. We are, sir, detecting Cardassian warp signatures. It's the True Way. They're hailing us.
I am Gulmutak of the Kregar, Adjutant General to Gul Kardec. You are carrying stolen property belonging to the True Way. Lower your shields and prepare to be boarded.
Are you insane? We're in orbit of Bajor. We could have ships here in a moment. He's cut off communications and powering up weapons. Whatever your order, Cheryl. Hail Deep Space Nine.
Sarah's here.
Commander, we've been ambushed by True Way in orbit of Bajor.
In the orbit of Bajor? But how could they? Nerve of the... Sorry, I'm okay. I will borrow the Defiant and be there momentarily.
Rear shield failing.
Hey, I'll give the True Way that. It takes balls to try to attack a Klingon starship in Federation territory. Good you're still in one piece. Let's teach these Cardis a lesson. I appreciate your zeal, Commander, but let's not get carried away. Silly people. Attacking in a place where it makes no sense to attack. Da-da-da-da, I'm shooting this guy with all of my green lasers. Well, technically they're disruptors, but let's face it, they're green lasers. Nice. Just what I wanted, a Chronoton missile launcher for the back.
That's the last of them for now. I will remain in orbit while you return the orb, just in case.
Still say that'd be a great gag to play on your kid. Name him just in case. He wouldn't know what the joke was, and you'd get to laugh every time. Be a great day. Let's see. I don't have anything specifically upgrading disruptor damage, but are these Tetrion weapons better than my disruptor turrets? 200 DPS. Yeah. Unequipped. Easier to compare when they're like this. Technically, the disruptor turrets are better damage-wise, but these have the chance of reducing enemies' health, basically their ability to withstand damage, which is also valuable. So I'll swap those on. Thank you, Commander. Beam down. Hello, kitty cat. Vedic Kryn indicates that she is waiting for you at the temple. Need 12,000 more experience. I'm gonna wait for these people to talk before I try to talk to her, because them talking to her can glitch you out of being able to talk to her. See? Shit like that happens. You shouldn't be they shouldn't be able to complete the objective for you by talking to her. See if I can just quickly beam out, beam in. Okay. I think I'm going to have to exit the area entirely. It's a really stupid and annoying thing, and I don't know how it works that way, but it does. So essentially, if you are trying to read her dialogue, and someone hits complete, like jumps the gun, you get screwed out of that bit of dialogue. So yeah, I'm completely screwed out of that bit of dialogue with Kryn because of these fucking idiots who just don't have any form of self-awareness that shit goes down. It's really stupid and annoying, and now you guys are missing critical parts of the story. So like literally the only way for me to fix it is to drop the mission entirely and restart it.
You have recovered the orb of power. How can I help you?
All because they didn't think to make it a instanced area for this mission. So I have to redo that whole space battle just so you guys can get the dialogue. Because of assholes. Who don't... Because like the instance that you go into to fight the space battle is instanced, so I don't know why you going on to Bajor isn't also instanced.
I am Gomu.
Sir,
Ship is under attack.
But yeah, that's why I decided to pop that torpedo launcher on the back, is so I don't necessarily have to turn all the way around just to take advantage of torpedo powers.
That's the last of them for now.
It also means there's going to be a whole bunch of accolades people can't access because of certain things.
How may I help you?
I'm here to return this orb to the temple.
Wonderful. The prophet has smiled upon us this day. What was lost has been returned to us. You have done a great service for the Bajoran people today, and we are most grateful.
It's an honor and a privilege to carry this burden.
Please, place the orb upon the altar.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. I gave them a full 30 seconds beyond what I needed. So I hope that allowed everybody to get what they needed done. I have returned the orb of possibilities.
The service rendered is not the service desired. What does not belong cannot be returned.
I don't understand.
What has been returned does not belong. We must travel backwards.
When we gaze in the mirror, we see our faces as others do, but reversed.
Your task abides. You have recovered an orb. Now you must return it.
As you must return.
I would be honored to know what the prophets shared with you, if you are willing. Sometimes their visions can be very confusing, and I have some experience interpreting them.
It was very cryptic. They seemed to suggest that this was not their orb, that I must return it elsewhere.
Elsewhere? But it is an orb of the prophets. Where else could it belong? Unless... Are you familiar with the so-called mirror universe?
God damn it! Fucking bullshit. Let's see if I can find... Let's see if I can find... I'm trying to see if I can find her dialogue anywhere so I can read it off. Okay. I'm going to close the audio. Pick up from the stream. So I can try to play the mission, hear the dialogue, so I can repeat it for you, because idiots decide not to give people a few seconds to finish the fucking dialogue instance because they screwed the mission up.
Greetings and salutations.
There doesn't appear to be anything with the dialogue options there, so hopefully on the next character I play through this mission on, we can get that bit of dialogue since it doesn't change between factions. I have been fascinated by the existence of this so-called mirror universe ever since our recent contact with it. I've interviewed the emissary, Colonel Kira, and others about their experience with the mirror universe. Many questions remain. It seems the mirror universe has prophets, but are they the same prophets? There's no mention of the Celestial Temple, and certainly the mirror Benjamin Sisko is no emissary. I shall petition the Vedic for permission to enter the mirror universe. The Vedic Assembly has denied my request. Besides the debates about doctrine and theology, the deciding factor was political. The Federation has quarantined any access to the mirror universe, and Bajor is seeking membership. I have continued my research by interviews, but my questions remain unanswered. I fear I have no choice then but to renounce my seat on the Assembly and pursue an entrance to the mirror universe on my own. I don't have the technological prowess to create one of those multi-dimensional devices for myself. I have an engineer friend who owes me a favor. I'm lucky to be alive. I've managed to cross over to the mirror universe, but Terrak Nor, as they call Deep Space Nine, has been taken over by the Terran Rebellion. They're using it as the base of power, attempting to reassert their control over the Bajor sector. Bajorans are not trusted and used mostly for mining and ore processing. The cruel irony given Bajor's history in both universes. But I was able to join the Bajoran workers and get some of my question answers. The Bajorans of the mirror universe are much like us, and it sounds as if their prophets are also most similar. They even have orbs such as we have here. However, to them the Celestial Temple is a myth or a metaphor, not a physical place such as ours. I do not know if this is because it simply has not been discovered, or if the prophets of this universe have sealed themselves away for some reason. The only way to find out is to either cross over with a spaceship, or somehow procure one here. I have received curious message from somebody from the mirror universe offering my assistance. Shortly after making this entry, Vedic Ereth disappeared and was never heard from again.
Sarah's here.
We believe this orb is from the Mirror Universe. I think we can pass through the anomaly we found earlier.
Acknowledged. Be careful. The Mirror Universe is known to be more treacherous than our universe. And you will be cut off from any support here.
I appreciate the concern, Commander, but we will be fine. Beam me up, Real. Ah, that would have been a quick way to do that. Okay. I'm sorry, I got a little heated there for a second. But apparently it's been reported to Cryptic Entertainments and they're going to try to fix it. I would say the best way to fix it would be to instance the Bajor after that mission. That way you would cut all other players from being able to access it. Unless they're in a team together. Seems to me that would be the better solution. Apparently, for people who completed the mission Raptor Rapier prior to the release of New Dawn, get essentially bonus dialogue with Erun.
Sarah's here. What is your status?
We have entered the Badlands and are heading toward the anomaly.
Acknowledged. Keep comm lines open as long as possible. We have limited intelligence on the Mirror Universe, but from what we know, it appears the Terran Rebellion spread from Terok Nor, eventually forming a new empire. The Terran Empire has reoccupied Bajor. I believe this Captain Lita is the administrator of the Bajor sector.
Notice how it's all orange here? Keep that in mind for when we go to the next one.
I am Gul Haneria the Torn, Chief Tactical Advisor to Gul Kardec of the True Way. You are not welcome here. Lower your shields and prepare to be boarded.
I believe Gul Kardec must be born. The universe is somehow created a anomaly. That then is to form an alliance with the Terran Empire. Stay on your guard. We expect you.
Sir, I believe we can activate the portal by bombarding it with tachyon radiation. Make the necessary modifications to the deflector dish. Enter portal. And now the Badlands are blue.
Greetings. I am Captain Lita of the Terran Empire. What a pleasure it is to have visitors from your universe. When Gul Kardec said you might be along, I didn't really believe him. But I couldn't afford to take the chance. Surrender, now, and I will guarantee the safety of your crew.
We will never surrender.
What a pity. We could have had so much fun together. And now, I have to destroy you.
You can try. Like, lady, I have seen some shit. I think that ship got caught not only in the wake from my plasma venting, but also in the wake from the other ship exploding.
Oh, what fun! I was really growing rather bored before you showed up.
Ah, fucking tractor beam.
Left shield failing. Lower shield failing. Rear shield failing.
That science ship is pissing me off, friends. I'll be right back.
Hull integrity below 50%.
Ah, campaigners. General elections on Tuesday. Yeah, I'm glad I popped that torpedo launcher to my back.
I apologize for the state of my troops. They've grown rather complacent. I shall have to provide a demonstration, apparently.
Warp to Bajor. We've arrived on Bajor in the Mirror Universe. From what I've been able to pick up on comm chatter, Bajor is reconquered by the Terran Empire and occupied by them again. We should be on our guard. Sir, those appear to be true way soldiers. Could they have followed us to the border? I believe it's more likely they were Gul Kardek's troops waiting for us. Again, I apologize for the snoring.
What do you want? I'm very busy. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking to you. You don't look like Terran Empire. This is my first week on the job. I was expecting to get months more training, but Commander Kuba says he needs every Terran Empire member on the streets, especially the Bajoran ones. He thinks it will pacify them to see Bajorans on their force. I thought this was going to be a great job. I get to help my friends and neighbors and serve the community, but now all my Bajoran friends see me as a traitor, and the Terrans see me as a spy.
Kind of feel bad for her. Not too bad, but a little bad. Oh yeah, and they've updated the Mirror Universe uniforms from what they used to be.
Kardec was right. You are formidable, but pitifully predictable.
Terran forces, attack the invaders!
I want them alive.
Guards! Guards!
Cause dancing girls now.
We will meet again. Soon.
Fighting is not permitted here.
This is not your affair.
Oh shit, he's a changeling! Ah. One of the things that could help me fight the snoring is if I had money to buy proper sound equipment so I could block out unwanted sounds. And to give me money, if you wanted to, the best way to do it would be go to www.patreon.com/Sequana1 or Sequana. I have to check real quick, make sure I got that right. Man, I wish I had one of those adjustable beds where you could like push the button and the person gets angled so they won't be sleeping with their lung passages blocked. Ah, yes, it is Sequana, not Sequana 1. So, www.patreon.com/Sequana.
What do you want with me?
Tell me about this place.
This is the heart of Hathon. The buildings surrounding this plaza were the first buildings constructed in our city. Here, our ancestors raised their families and gave thanks to the prophets for their many blessings. Once, people came here to talk to their neighbors, and we gathered here each year for the Gratitude Festival. But now it is only a place of dark memories. When the Terran Empire conquered Bajor the first time, they posted the new laws here. When the food rationing started, we came here to collect the scraps they gave us. When they took our sons and daughters to the mining camps, the trucks stopped here to collect them. And when the Terran Empire conquered us again, they hung the bodies of those who opposed them here to remind us to keep in our places. I come here to reflect on the fallen and the price of freedom.
Thank you. I feel much better. But at Changeling, here, we only have stories. In any event, what was the purpose for your visit? The Orb of Possibilities? But that was lost decades ago, during the first occupation of Bajor. However did you come by it? Never mind. The prophets teach us not to look at their workings too closely. Don't just stand there. Place it on the altar.
My hair.
From Golkar Deck to Golpalat, I have run into some complications. Namely, some agents have interfered with my plans. They have stolen the Orb of Possibilities. I assume they have returned it to the Bajorans by now. Fortunately, the anomaly remains stable. I was able to retreat to the Mirror Universe where I have taken shelter with my Terran allies. However, I believe they are waiting for my return. Therefore, I need you to meet with Dumad Zukan at the facility in the Devos system in my stead. Coordinates are attached.
I never really explored this place. Let's take a look around. Should be interesting.
You don't have clearance to be here. Please step away from the checkpoint. I'm sorry, sir, but I don't have clearance to allow anyone past this point without prior authorization from Commander Achebe. You don't have clearance to be here. Please step away from the checkpoint. It's the second occupation, mind you. First, we were occupied by the Terran Empire. Then we were liberated and became part of the Klingon-Cardassian Alliance. Then we were occupied by the Terran Empire again. So what do? I serve in the militia to try to keep the peace as best as I can. I may not be overly fond of the Terrans or their methods, but if I'm enforcing the rules, at least I can make sure there's some fairness.
Fairly reasonable stance, given all things considered.
How can I help you? My task is to try to convey the comfort of the prophets to the people of Hathon. The ways of the prophets are mysterious. What can be understood, however, is love. The prophets' love surrounds us. It is in every rock and tree of Bajor. It is on a warm summer breeze, and in the smile of a loved one. How can I help you? These are all ancient tomes, dealing with the prophets and our history with them. My people have studied the ways of the prophets for thousands of years. Much of that knowledge has been written here. We are fortunate to have the words of our ancestors preserved in this fashion.
Two days ago, my master and I were called to the home of Boreas, a farmer whose home was near the Kala Mountains. Boreas was tied to the bed in a darkened room. His wife told me he had become restrained to keep him from harming himself. It may have been too late. By the time we arrived, Boreas had already clawed out his own eyes. There was no time to lose. I, a lowly Rajan, could not help the poor, afflicted man. Only the light of the prophets could drive the paw-wraiths from him. My master's soft-spoken prayers were met with howls of rage. The being lurking inside Boreas could not stand the pain and lashed out. Managed to break the restraints holding him to the bed, lunged for my master, knocking the incense burn over. We were setting the curtains ablaze. I struggled to hold Boreas so that the Vedic could finish driving the paw-wraiths out of him. He was strong, almost supernaturally so. Soon we were both bloodied. I could still hear the Vedic's chant. Tara dak ish helm ran imba daram tame. In his voice, like his faith, never wavered. At last, Rice raised his eyes and he looked at me and said, "You will find it, Karal. You are the harbinger. You, and where you go, a reckoning follows." The final anguished scream, and it was gone, and Boreas was free. The paw-wraiths are creatures of lie, so my master tells me not to worry about what creatures inside Boreas said. But the days go by, I find myself dwelling on his words again and again. The archaeologists working at Bahala have asked for volunteers. My master has given me leave to join them. Perhaps the ancient city I can find peace. Keys to enlightenment. The first key to enlightenment is charity. Give to everything you can. Give to everything you can others. Help in an hour of need. Heal the sick. Feed the hungry. Comfort the grieving. Give direction to the lost. For when you love another enough to give of yourself, then you love as the prophets love us. Snoring. I can just sleep in the other room. Second key to enlightenment is humility. Put aside your pride and accept your place in the prophet's plan. In the school of the Spirit, one learns wisdom through humility, knowledge by forgetting, how to speak in silence, and how to live through death. The final key to enlightenment is faith. Have faith in the prophets and in their plan for you. Believe in their love for you, and they will protect and keep you close through the storm. You do not need knowledge of the prophets if you have faith. Faith is knowledge that lives within the heart. It is beyond the reach of proof. Observations for Days of Atonement. There is no one among us who is perfect, and everyone has faltered. Everyone has been tempted, even the Kai's faith has been tested. The prophets understand this and love us despite our failings. They do, however, ask us to atone and seek forgiveness for the wrongs we do. First, you must seek the forgiveness of the prophets. This is the easiest step of your journey, for all it takes is to admit your failings and seek absolution. Do this sincerely and you will be forgiven. I'll give you a heads up if you want to go lay down there. I bought some sandwiches if you want to get some to eat. But while forgiveness of the prophets is a powerful force, you must seek the forgiveness of those you have wronged. Go to the man or woman you hurt. Tell them how sorry you are. Offer to make amends. Understand their pain, for you share it with them. If the person you harmed was yourself, it is more important than ever to atone and forgive. There is no love without forgiveness, and no forgiveness without love. Now, this sounds all creepy and postmodern-y. Prepare yourself with prayer before you ask for forgiveness. Open your heart and understand not only what you have done wrong, but also why you did it. And if someone asks forgiveness of you, give it gladly and with an open heart. Forgiveness does not mean denying responsibility a misdeed, nor does it mean minimizing or justifying that wrong. All you must do to forgive is to set the pain free so that the scars on your soul can heal. Proclamation of the Prophet Rion. Be at peace in this world. Only through acceptance of the trials of this existence can you learn from them. Darkness will extinguish the light. Good men will die. People will be beset with tribulation and strife. You cannot change these things. The only thing you can change is yourself. Be at peace with yourself. You are not perfect. You will be tempted. You will act against the teaching of the prophets. Understand that these things will happen and accept them. Acknowledge your failings. And the reed that grows in still water will snap when the wind begins to blow. Be at peace with the prophets. The paths to the celestial temple are without number, and those who dwell within it cannot be understood by anyone who has never stood in their presence. The prophets teach us and guide us. They are not here to smooth the path, only to help us understand why the rocks are there. The prophecies of Manos Yora. When the people become one of many people, they will face many trials. The first trial will be the trial of light. A shard from a distant star will fall to the ground. It will be praised by many, and its light will illuminate many evils. Many will claim this star, and none will be able to hold it. It will cut the hands of those who try to touch it, and their blood will spill upon the ground. The second trial is the trial of darkness. Soldiers will spin webs in corners untouched by time. A mother will be carried away on the black wings, and her children will cry in the wilderness. Only when the hero meets himself can this trial be overcome. The last is the trial of fire. A viper bound in chains of flame will stir in his sleep. The mountains will crack and tumble. The seas will rise up and swallow the people. The tears of the keepers will fall upon the dust, and new life will burst forth from the ashes. Oh, that sounds apocalyptic. Recorded from a sermon by Ejol Timan. I'm sure you have many questions about the Power Wraiths. I intend to answer them. The Power Wraiths are not what you have been told. They are not evil. They do not desire chaos or pain. They do not require sacrifice. The Power Wraiths' only crime is love. They loved the people of Bajor and wanted to help them. For that they were cast out of the Celestial Temple. Have you ever asked yourself why the prophets stood idle while terrible things happened to good people? Why didn't they intervene when the Cardassians attacked? Why didn't they save millions of people who suffered and died during the occupation? Why didn't the all-knowing, all-powerful prophets stretch out their hand and stop the Klingons from attacking Deep Space Nine? Why didn't they block the Dominion from ever entering the Alpha Quadrant? The answer is simple. Because the prophets do not care about Bajor. They do not care about you. I have had the power wraiths inside me. I can feel their love filling me. It is a love for me and the Bajoran people, so complete, so awe-inspiring, I wish I had words to describe it. In the instant I held the power wraiths, I understood. I opened my heart to it, and I was forever transformed. The power wraiths are returning to the Celestial Temple. They are returning to Bajor. And when they do, Bajor will be transformed into a peaceful and bountiful land it was always intended to be. The prophets have abandoned Bajor. The power wraiths never will. Death chants. Do not let him walk alone. Guide him on the journey. Protect the one named. Take him into the gates of heaven. Raka ja'ut shala morala emma boro kana uraka uranak relanon profe vanara esuk shala kan Vunek. Profa tre nu ato daine ita no tashka yava tolata e betan koma jiakal ba la pen par tempa la pore ilano kos. I'm assuming this is how it sounds, because I think this was the way it's sort of said in the series. Prophets, grant unto your servant forgiveness, receive him with the gladness, and give him a place at your side for eternity. Let their soul live forever in the Celestial Temple. Bless and keep the soul of the one named. There is another universe that lies alongside ours, and there has been several crossover events throughout the century. These interactions have often been pivotal to our history. I was unable, amidst the recent turmoil, to interview people directly about their experience with the beings from the other universe. The Terran Rebellion took over Deep Space Nine and subsequently reoccupied Bajor, and weren't very interested in the questions of a pesky Vedic. The discovery of the Celestial Temple in their universe led to the discovery of the Celestial Temple in our universe. This left us with many questions. Why haven't these events been synchronous in both universes? Are there other secrets that we could learn from the other universe? I shall petition the Vedic Assemble for permission to enter the other universe. The Vedic Assemble has denied my request. Besides the debates about doctrine and theology, the deciding factor was political. The Terran Empire considers the secret of crossing to the other universe as a state secret. Bajor is already struggling under their thumb, and the Vedics do not want to create further problems. I have abandoned my attempts to cross over at this time, and instead simply trying to make contact with the other universe. Perhaps if I could contact my own counterpart, we could join forces. I have managed to make contact with my counterpart in the other universe. I didn't reveal my identity, but I offered my assistance. Should I make the crossover? My counterpart has revealed many things about the other universe. The Bajorans are part of a federation, a peaceful and seemingly weak counterpart to the Terran Empire. The Cardassians occupied Bajor in their universe. Their celestial temple led to a Gamma Quadrant, where a race called the Dominion dwelt and fought a war with the peoples of the Alpha Quadrant. Among this empire called the Dominion, the leaders were a species that called themselves the Founders. Others called them changelings. A being called Odo, who worked on their Terek Nor apparently was one of these creatures, but did not know his origin. Their basic form appears to be liquid, but they can shift into virtually any form. The ability of these changelings to take the shape of various key personnel caused the other peoples no end of problems. I must notify the assembly of my findings. After reporting his findings, Vedic Eth disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Foul play suspected but never proven. Okay. Benjamin Lafayette Sisko was born in 2332 in the city of New Orleans on Earth, to Joseph and Sarah Sisko. Earth is a planet in the Sol system. The people who live there are called humans. Sisko's mother left the family when the emissary was very young. His father soon remarried, and later the family expanded with the birth of a daughter and 2 more sons. Joseph Sisko is the chef who taught all of his children his craft. They all worked together in the family restaurant. Work in the restaurant was hard but rewarding. Joseph Sisko didn't use replicators, so his family had to help in the kitchen prepare food for their customers. Benjamin spent many nights after school during his vacation preparing vegetables and washing dishes. Humans don't eat the same food we do. One of the dishes that was served at the Sisko's restaurant was called jambalaya. Jambalaya, a stew-type dish with earth grain called rice mixed in with meats and vegetables. It's very spicy, like hasparet. In 2350, Benjamin Sisko left New Orleans to attend Starfleet Academy. During his first weeks in the Academy, Sisko transported home every night to have dinner with the family. When you eat dinner with your family, what kind of food do you share? At Starfleet Academy, Benjamin Sisko studied very hard and made lots of friends. He was the captain of the Starfleet Academy wrestling team. He visited space for the first time and met his good friend Curzon Dax. At this time, Benjamin Sisko didn't know anything about the prophets or the plan for his life. They were guiding his every step, and many years later he would find their home in the Celestial Temple. Gratitude Festival is a happy occasion that most Bajorans observe. Even people who do not follow the prophets will participate in the Gratitude Festival. Known as the Peldor Festival, it's been celebrated on Bajor for more than 20,000 years. The traditional greeting of the festival is Peldor Joy. The streets and homes are decorated with the festival. Sometimes people will exchange small gifts. Parties are held to celebrate with friends and family. Entertainers will perform for crowds and excited revelers. The most important part of the Gratitude Festival, though, is the renewal scrolls. The presider of the festival lights a ritual fire, and then the people write their problems on festival scrolls and burn them as a symbolic gesture. In this way, people give their burdens to the prophets, and all the problems are in the past, and they can look toward the brighter future. It's very popular to burn Bartret leaves during this time. The soothing scent of Biteret leaves is now very closely associated with the Peldor festival. It often inspires religious or pleasant thoughts in anyone familiar with Bajoran traditions. When people smell Bartlett incense, they know that the prophets are watching over them. Perhaps the Bajorans need something that will calm their troubles and remind you of better times. Try burning Baratet incense throughout the city. He will come to the palace, bearing no malice, carrying the chalice filled with sweet wine. In his hands will be 7 branches, and on his brow 7 stars. He will be wrapped in the cloth of many colors, spread joy wherever he goes. He will be admitted to the palace and seated right hand of the throne. He will speak many things to the emissary, and their words will bring great wisdom to the people. People will bring many gifts to him. In return, he will give them treasure beyond price. The land will be at peace. When the moon shines in the day and night is when the moon shines in the day and the night is bright with sun, watch for his coming. Spread tables for him with red cloth and burn fragrant herbs. Celebrate, for he is the herald. When he arrives, the people and the prophets will be as one. When the Vedic first assigned me to the task of writing a guide for cooking fasts, I was skeptical. After all, most people find that what I must do to be difficult, even find that the feast we prepare to be an insult. They feel we are tempting them to break their fast and break their covenant with the prophets. Nothing can be further from the truth. While cooking for the fast, remember, the food cannot be eaten. Rather, the spirit of the food will be consumed by the prophets. Create dishes that are pleasing to the eye. Use fragrant herbs and spices to perfume the air. Heated dishes that release steam will carry their essence to the celestial temple, as do the bubbles in the finest spring wines. Hasperat that sears the eyes and burns the tongue is essential. Make it spicier than you would normally. The prophets will enjoy the variety. Also, while you're fasting, be sure to take care of yourself. Rest often, drink water, avoid strenuous exercise. Monitor your health, and if it starts to suffer, break your fast with gratitude. The prophets deserve your devotion, but they do not require that you sacrifice your life for them. Fasting should be a spiritual experience where you feed your soul. Risking your life serves no one. I hope my poor words have been of some use. Blessings of the prophets to you. Recorded on this, the 4th day of the Gratitude Festival in the year 2047 by Rajan Nigel in the Kailas Monastery.
Greetings. Do you seek the wisdom of the prophets? I am a seeker of knowledge. I spend my days in service and prayer. The prophets have many things to teach us, but their lessons are subtle and full of mystery. It takes a quiet, attentive mind to understand. I am not as wise as Ranjan Ravel, but he is always willing to help pilgrims like me find our way. I may never fully grasp the wisdom of the prophets, but I can try. The journey to enlightenment is a blessing in of itself. If that is all I ever have, it is enough. Greetings. Vedic Krin is in the temple office, just to the east of here.
Okay. So we've interacted with everything in the mirror universe we can interact with. I have returned the Orb of Possibilities again.
We are most grateful. We had thought the orb lost forever. You have restored the balance.
Your enemies lie in wait. They want to prevent your return.
But we shall restore the balance as you did.
You have returned our orb. Now you must return.
That was a lot of reading. Sir, what just happened? You opened up the orb case and suddenly everything went white and we appeared in the Comarin in orbit of Major. It appears we are back in our universe. I believe the mirror prophets returned us. I must consult with Vedic Krin.
Greetings. I did not see you enter the temple.
I believe the prophets returned me here.
Indeed. I know little of the mirror prophets, But if they are like ours, then this is a great honor. Rarely do the prophets interfere so directly. I take it your mission was a success?
The orb is back in its proper place.
Then you have the gratitude of 2 Bajors. May the prophets continue to smile upon you.
Thank you, Vedic Kryn. And that was the end of that mission.
So, Gul Kardec was a changeling. This does not bode well. An alliance between the True Way and the Alpha Dominion could prove disastrous for the Alpha and Beta Quadrants. However, the orb has been returned to the Mirror Universe, and you have returned to ours. Nevertheless, we must stop this alliance before they can do any further damage. We shall analyze the pad you retrieved to see if we find this Ketracel White factory. How can I help you?
Gotta sell some crap so I can free up some space. Might as well sell these. Whew, so much reading. Much dryness in my throat. Just gonna sell all the stuff that's not of uncommon or higher quality.
The pad you discovered on Gul Kardec revealed the location of a secret facility in the Alpha Quadrant. There appears to be some kind of alliance between the True Way and the Dominion. We cannot allow them to join forces. How can I help you?
Accept. Teleportation. Okay. Well, that sucked. A whole bunch of those missions failed. Let's see. Sorry. Yeah, I still gotta do some mission replays in the background. Stubborn. Okay. Excuse me. We have arrived at the Davos system. The coordinates from Gul Kardec's pad. Detecting Cardassian and Dominion energy signatures. Acknowledged. True I are working together with Dominion. This can't be good. What was I? Oh, right. Assets. So yeah, I will replay the Cardassian story arc with my Ferengi and shit. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. With my Federation and Romulan characters that I play for the stream. Before I move on to the 2800.
Warning.
Fighting the Galor class. But all in all, I think this alterations to the story arc are pretty good. I just think that they need to fix a few glaring issues. And I think it would be nice if they restored a couple more missions. Maybe have a third mission involving the mirror universe. And Another mission dealing with the true way. Interesting. While the alphas are more independent than the Gamma, there still must be someone commanding them. Man, he just wrecked those ships I summoned in to help me. That is why I'm gonna hit him with that. Ah, miracle worker. Though this character might switch over to mostly Tetrion weapons and later on. I haven't decided yet.
Rear shield failing.
Directed energy distribution manifold. Plasma. Defensive. Mine. Huh. Yawn. But wait, there's more. God damn. Da, 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 da. technically the armor he has right now is better, so I'll leave him with that. Let's see, is this better than her current armor? Significantly. Okay. Now we go to the facility. No, this isn't in German. This is English. Why, am I coming out in German or something? Scan complete, sir. I'm detecting numerous life signs, mostly Jem'Hadar. It appears to be some kind of manufacturing facility based on the presence of a large number of uridium bicantazine I am detecting, along with Jem'Hadar life signs. I would venture this is a Ketracel White factory. What is Ketracel White? It's an addictive narcotic containing nutrients and enzymes lacked by the Jem'Hadar. The minion uses it to keep them in control. Beam down. Located a cave just above the facility and allow us to beam in undetected. Are you ready to beam? Bye. We've arrived in the cave just above the facility, sir. Scans confirm that this is indeed the factory producing Ketracel White. If we were going to destroy the factory, if we were to destroy the factory, it would be a great blow to these Alpha Jem'Hadar and their True Way allies. A few well-placed charges will cause a chain reaction that destroys the facility. Detecting Cardassian Dominion life signs below, sir. We best be on our guard. I'm still trying to figure out why Nausicaan and Gorn females aren't available. The only reason I can come up with is Cryptic didn't want to try to make ugly races with to have the uglier races and have their females still be ugly because, you know, science fiction. I can sort of understand the Lethan because I think the females of their species are kept mostly in bondage because they're like distinctly mentally inferior from the males. But I can't be entirely certain. They don't really go into it. At least in any series I've watched. I mean, they made references to it, but I don't think any series has had a long enough association with them for it to not be. As for the Gorn, I imagine the females would just look like bigger versions of the males. Since they're reptiles, they would follow the same logic as other reptiles, which means the females would be the bigger ones. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just me going based on what I know of biology on Earth. This area is secure, sir. The areas just ahead appear to be a laboratory detecting multiple Jem'Hadar life signs and one Vorta life sign. Acknowledged. Maybe if I can get through all the missions, after I finish this mission, I'll try to get into the ground instance for the new Terran marks, where you fight Lita again, but this time on the ground. I mean, am I listed as it being in German? It's gonna be weird for a second here. English? No? It's listed as English. Strange.
Greetings. I am very glad to meet you. I am Naaman, a Vorta scientist and servant of the Founders and the Dominion, of course.
He should have just been Erun. Why make a new character?
Oh my, yes. I have a proposition to which I hope you shall be amenable. I serve a founder named Los. He is one of 100 founders sent here to the Alpha Quadrant. His actions have placed me in a bit of a moral conundrum that I hope you can help me unravel. Los was the first of these Alpha Quadrant founders to emerge. He located and gathered the others into a new Great Link. However, he has not seen fit to tell these founders that the war with the Dominion is over, and that the Great Link is alive and well in the Gamma Quadrant. Instead, he has convinced them that you solids exterminate the Great Link, and are attempting to exterminate these founders as well. Betrayal is such an ugly word. I prefer to think of our arrangement as a creative solution to a difficult problem. But semantics aside, I do not feel so much that I am betraying Los as liberating the other 98 founders and serving the Dominion and the founders. I do not believe they would want these Alpha Quadrant founders to be ignorant of the truth. I also fear that if Los continues his plans, it could result in the death of founders. The morphogenic virus still lives in the memory of the Dominion. Several reasons. First, even if I do not agree with him, he is a god. Second, he is my only link to the other founders here. Finally, his Jem'Hadar are fanatically loyal and watch me constantly. Although you seem to have mitigated that issue.
What do you do here?
My job is to supervise the Ketracel White production. While the Jem'Hadar are mighty warriors, they are not the greatest scientists. Nor do we wish them to have the secret of Ketracel White production. Los keeps me away from the new link. They have been raised on his deceits, and so will be utterly convinced that you are attempting to exterminate them. I believe we can help each other. You can free me and take me to the new link, where I can explain to the founders the truth, that the Dominion still exists, and that you are not hunting them to extinction.
What's the catch?
Oh, I do not like the word catch. It sounds so mercenary. But yes, my price is Loss's life. After I reveal the truth to the new link, you must allow them to mete out their justice. I cannot jeopardize the life of a founder under any circumstances.
Very well, come with us. The area ahead appears to be some kind of command center. I'm detecting Cardassian Jem'Hadar life signs.
I'll be glad to get out of here. These Alpha Jem'Hadar don't understand the proper respect owed to a Vorta.
Oh, you are kind of a condescending prick, so I can understand them not respecting you, Neiman. Was your last name Marcus? Ha ha!
Intruders! I'll put up a force field. You dump the data.
We've got to stop the first before he deletes all the data.
I'm so glad I started using auto attack. It's made doing this stuff a little bit easier. What the hell are my crew there, man? Orbital strike. Nothing quite makes your point as well as it.
Excellent. I shall retrieve the coordinates.
That was fun. Don't know why Ryal was trapped over there, but okay. She could have left and joined us over at my little bulwark of power up here. Wow. That was a really efficient method of attack. In having the turret there plus my summonables. But then again, that's kind of the joy of playing an engineer in this game, is that you can just summon in a crap load of help into a battle. Like, things to power up your shields, things to power up your health, things to make attacks. It's like one engineer can make like 3 or 4, can have like 4 to 5 things that they can summon to the ground at once. Speak to Nemon.
I have the data. It will take some time to decrypt, but I recommend we depart as quickly as possible.
Agreed. Place charge. Beam up. Detecting Cardassian Dominion energy signatures incoming. Charges on the surface are ready to detonate. Acknowledged. Detonate charges.
You are so quick to blow things up. Such a waste. That factory might have come in handy someday.
Yeah, for who? You? But given that the Dominion does help us out in the future, I guess I can cut them a bit of a slack. But yeah, I'll probably end up equipping him with a whole bunch of the resonant Tetrion weapons. Oh, resonating, I should say.
You really seem to have angered the Jem'Hadar. Of course, they always seem a bit angry, don't you think?
Maybe they couldn't get Arun back because they couldn't get the voice actor back. I know they have a kind of a fairly strict policy of one voice actor per character. Set the clocks back so my sleeping's all wonky.
I have completed the decryption of the data we recovered. The new link appears to lie in the Orias system. I have transferred the coordinates to your helm. I want to thank you for your service to the Dominion. I also want to remind you of our agreement, namely, that Loss, or any other founder for that matter, is not to be killed by you.
I remember, you dick. Now I gotta go to Kronos, get my rank up, then I can continue the mission. I do like the transwarp feature. I really do. Makes traveling between some of these places a lot quicker, which is always a bonus.
Congratulations on destroying the facility. How can I help you?
I don't know how I have, but whatever. Must have been a glitch where it let me grab more than 20 missions. Crikey.
Heed the call of the warrior. Claim. Serve the Empire. Talk to the battle man. Talk to the battle.
Huh. Motion's acting funny. Let's try teleporting out and then teleporting back in to see if that clears it up. Go before Klingon High Council. Is there some kind of ritual? I don't know why I was behaving like this, but okay.
Serve the Empire.
Serve the Empire well. I think I've been doing a pretty good job of that, frankly. Alright, factory.
Congratulations on destroying the facility. That should cripple the Alpha Jem'Hadar for the time being. But we need to make contact with this new link. Hopefully Naaman can convince them of the truth before it's too late. Keep a close eye on him. We may have a treaty with the Dominion, but that doesn't mean I trust them. Avorta's first loyalty will always be to the Founders. How can I help you?
Naaman has decrypted the coordinates for the new link. They designate a location in the Alpha Quadrant, in the Orion system. This changeling, named Lux, has deceived the other changelings in his link into thinking we are exterminating them, and that we massacred the Gamma Quadrant changelings as well. You must have Naaman help you convince them of the truth.
How can I help you?
Strange.
The True Way has stolen an orb that the Obsidian Order failed to return after the war.
Huh. I don't know why it's not upgrading it to level 12. Oh, Mark 12, I should say. I need to check my other characters to be certain whether or not they're doing so. I'm going to log out real quick. Because maybe it only goes to level 12 when you hit level 60, which would be strange, but knowing my luck, would be exactly how it goes down. I can't tell. Well, can't do it with her, but with her. I'll check and see if it's popping up as level 12 or level 11 now.
The True Way has stolen an orb the Obsidian Order failed to return after the war. Although we don't know for certain where they've...
level 64 to qualify as Mark 12 versions. Okay. No big deal. I can always buy upgrades and upgrade them to level 12. Be right back. I gotta get something to drink. Wow. Took exactly that long to get from Kronos to the Alpha Quadrant barrier. Sorry about the noise, I'm opening up some Pop-Tarts. Pop-Tarty. But yeah. I wish we had some of the old missions back. I feel they went a little too hack and slashy with the Cardassian arc. Oh yeah, and the whole Uranus system has been completely redesigned. We have arrived in the Uranus system. There's an M-class planet ahead, but I am detecting Jem'Hadar vessels in vicinity. I doubt they will allow us to reach the planet unscathed.
The Jem'Hadar will not likely be interested in negotiation. I'm afraid you'll have to fight your way through.
Excuse me. I like that the torpedoes are on separate cooldowns, so if I manage to get an enemy that comes behind me, I can fire this torpedo, or they're in front of me, and then if they get behind me, if they survive that one...
What a waste. Still, the nice thing about Jem'Hadar is that you can always breed more.
You are one mercenary motherfucker, I mean... Naming. Goddamn. Though I do like some of the redesigned maps that we have now, because they look a lot better than the old maps. So that's also a positive in the category of this. Suck out some energy from this guy, this Jem'Hadar ship. Excuse me.
To think, I will be the first Forta to meet the new Link.
To think, I don't care, man. I just want to get the mission done, you know? Let's get it done. Get it done. Okay. We're going to make some modifications. Torpedo spread.
Target's shields have failed.
Yep. I play a Klingon, I play a Romulan, and I play a Federation character on stream.
Ship is under attack.
My Klingon is engineer, because they've in my opinion at least, I think the Klingons have the best cruisers. My Federation character is a tactical officer, and my Romulan character is a science officer. But they're a Klingon-allied Romulan officer. Though, the cruiser I'm using right now doesn't really care what faction you are, but it's the only T6 cruiser I have. Nice. My problem with doing a Klingon science officer is you're pretty much stuck in Birds of Prey as a science officer. Yeah, once you hit level 50, well, not level 50, level 40, you can get the carrier. But I just think that they should have put more of the Gorn style ships in to make up for a lack of a science ship class for the Klingons, since the Gorn do most of the science stuff. We've arrived on Arraeus, sir. I'm detecting Jem'Hadar life signs. We should be on our guard. Mine is currently level 55.
You have to admire the devotion of the Jem'Hadar. They never seem to tire of throwing their lives away for the Founders. There it is. It's even more beautiful than I imagined. To think my gods slumber below, dreaming in their link.
But then again, most people play Federation because that's what most of the series are done from the perspective of. Most of them were done with the perspective of Federation characters, so I imagine they sort of assumed that it'd be mostly Federation players. But I still think they could have set up the ship distribution better. It's like, oh, but the Klingons don't develop as many different types of ships as the Federation's like, yeah, well, the Klingons aren't the only ones developing ships for the Empire anymore. We could possibly do that. I'm always willing to do a little bit of multiplayer on stream here or there. Or when I'm doing mission replays to collect gear. I'm so glad that they finally added a resonating Tetrion dual cannon and turret. That's pretty cool. I gotta sell some crapola. Beam turret 11. I think I've already got something better than that, but I can sell it in the exchange. So, what have you been thinking of the updates with New Dawn, Sasori? I'm only going to be streaming for a little while longer, then I'll be done for the day. But I play Star Trek Online most days, and I'm always looking to find maybe a good fleet to be part of that doesn't mind my rather erratic schedule of playing. The trace elements in this batch of Ketracel White confirm that it is manufactured at the facility we destroyed.
It's sacrilegious to have you here. I hope the founders will understand the necessity and forgive me.
Oh God, Neiman, you're such an annoying pawn. I miss Arun. At least I could respect Arun a little bit, even if he was a coward.
Enemy target on sensor. Shields losing power. Flanking damage detected.
Like, physically walk outside the building, or that the Klingons are allowed at Earth Space Dock now? Whoever finds this pad, know that you are reading is an act of disobedience, and if you are reading this, I am most likely dead. We are programmed to believe the founders are gods and infallible, but lately I have begun to question Loss's order. Some of his explanations no longer make sense. For example, we've been monitoring transmissions from local systems. None of them have any mention of this crusade against the founders. One of my brothers says he went to a facility where Ketracel White was manufactured, and he said there was a Vorta there, but this Vorta is kept almost as a prisoner. It does not command the Jem'Hadar there. Still, obedience brings victory. Victory is life. Who are we to question the motives of a god? When a god lies, is it still a lie?
The other Vorta are going to be so envious when they hear about this.
That is interesting. I guess it's supposed to be a part of the spirit of the whole post-Iconian War cooperation between the Klingon Empire and the Federation. Also, this new update makes I think they reduced the amount of missions in the Cardassian story arc by too much. I think maybe it should have been like 6 missions before you go into the 2800.
Enemy targets on sensors.
Like, I don't mind losing O'Brien. He was kind of he was kind of boring, since he was just like, oh, I've already won, cause blah 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 blah. At least with Lita, she had some emotion there because of the voice acting. Oh fuck! I forgot. Why did I skip that? God damn it!
Have you come to finish the job of exterminating us, Solid?
We're not here to hurt you. You've been deceived by Loss.
Impossible. We have linked with Loss. He is in the link as we speak. We know all that he knows.
He must have some way of deceiving you.
It is true that he awoke before us. Let us summon him to answer these charges.
It's true, Great One. These people are not hunting you. The Great Link remains. The Dominion has a treaty with the Alpha Quadrant species.
This creature lies. You have joined with me. You know all that I know.
Then you should have no qualms about linking.
No. These solids have poisoned your minds. I will not be forced to link by them.
You know, it doesn't really help your case, Loss. If you want people to believe you're innocent, don't do shady shit. I mean, seriously, man. You're supposed to be a god. For crying out loud. So, what do you do for science ships on your Klingon, officer? You just going around in the big old carrier dreadnought? But yeah, I honestly think that what they should have done is basically done it as Klingon faction ships with the Klingons. They should have had the 3 disciplines, but in those disciplines have more variation. Like, here's the Orion ship for that class. Here's the Gorn ship for that class. Huh. So how are you getting the most out of your science abilities? Do you have like a tier 4 commander level universal station on it?
Although it is unfortunate we had to resort to violence to force Lost into his liquid form, we are grateful for your assistance. We shall now be able to link with him and learn the whole truth of our past. If you are telling the truth, you have nothing more to fear from us. But we request that you leave us in peace. We have no interest in dealing with your kind.
I hope in time you can change your mind, but we shall respect your wishes.
Well, it has been a pleasure knowing you. I will remain here and serve the Founders. They have been without a Vorta and have much to learn about their siblings in the Gamma Quadrant. I know the Founders may seem ungrateful to you, but what can you expect from a god? Still, you have my gratitude for whatever the gratitude of an insignificant servant is worth.
Tried to like customize some of my squad mates a lot. To like give them like unique battle scars and stuff. Sir, Jem'Hadar Dreadnought warping in. They're hailing us.
Although you have slain our brothers, we have orders to allow you to leave the system. But you are never to return. And let it be known among your peoples that this system belongs to us, and you are not welcome.
Fear not, we shall leave you in peace. I recommend we launch a beacon to one of the ships not to approach the system. I found a good location. Agreed, lay the course in. But I wonder if that means given the nature of what is going on in Sunrise. I wonder if that means we're going to have more dealings with the Terran Empire and the Tholians in this new season. Some people do, some people don't. It's all up to each individual player, after all. And I know Sunrise is a direct reference to an episode of Next Generation.
Congratulations on destroying the facility. That should cripple the Alpha Jem'Hadar for the time being. But we need to make contact with this new link. Hopefully Naaman can convince them of the truth before it's too late. Keep a close eye on him. We may have a treaty with the Dominion, but that doesn't mean I trust them. Abortus' first loyalty will always be to the Founders. Congratulations on destroying the facility. That should cripple the Alpha Jem'Hadar for the time being. But we need to make contact with this new link. Hopefully Naaman can convince them of the truth before it's too late. How can I help you?
Dialogue's acting up.
Congratulations on destroying the facility. That should cripple the Alpha Jem'Hadar for the time. How can I help you?
Because her dialogue's not anything like what's in the text box.
Congratulations on destroying the facility. That should cripple the Alpha Jem'Hadar for the time being. But we need to make contact with this new link. Hopefully...
Yeah, she's acting as if she's, if I'm doing the last mission. Or starting this one. So it's being weird.
Congratulations on destroying the facility. That should cripple the Alpha Jem'Hadar for the time being. But we need to make contact with this new link. Hopefully Naaman can convince them of the truth.
Oh, I know new link's the end, but I think her dialogue's screwing up.
Keep a close eye on him. We may have a treaty with the Dominion, but that doesn't mean I trust them. Abortus' first loyalty will always be to the Founders.
Congratulations, General. You have defeated the True Way and made peace with the Alpha Changelings. I have transmitted a message to the major powers of the galaxy advising them to avoid the Orimi sector. I have one final request for you. Please return to DS9 at your convenience so that I may thank you personally.
My name is Commander Messi Achebe, and I was authorized by your High Council to contact you. By now, you've faced the Borg. The Collective is appearing with more frequency in the Alpha Quadrant now, and Defera is facing repeated attacks. We've been able to push them back so far, but we can't do it forever, not without help. Starfleet is organizing a meeting on DS9 to discuss the Borg situation. Representatives from Starfleet, the Cardassians, and the Deferi will be present. Your Chancellor is sending a representative as well. We want you to be there to represent the Klingon forces fighting the Collective. We have our differences, but some problems are simply too big to ignore.
And thus leading into the 2800. That'll be all for today. Once I get in orbit of Deep Space Nine. Well, that's all for today. Hope you all had a good time. And I'll see you next week.